Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. So today I want to try something I've never tried. Maybe somebody else has tried it, but I don't get to watch a lot of YouTube. My life is too hectic. So what I'm going to try today, you probably already know the answer to this, but just, come for the ride and learn with me. I'm using my Magic Pour, the powdered resin, and chameleon flakes. I want to know if the Magic Pour is going to dull the chameleon flakes, because in my head it's a white background or a black background if you want to tint it black with your powders. I have this powder actually if you wanted to tint it black. I also have the Resin-Crete liquid color pigments if you wanted to tint it black, but I don't want to tint it black just because I want the lighter color. I picked gold olive because this is the only full bottle that I have. Everything else is about half full. So I wasn't sure how much this little mold is going to take. Now this mold I bought a very long time ago thinking it was a jar. And then somebody mentioned in the unboxing video a million years ago that this is not a jar, that this is a planter pot. So again, you guys probably know the answer to that. I'm going to learn it after we unmold it, but I think they're right. If I'm looking at it, I think this is the base that the planter would sit on top of to catch the water, not water would drip because there's no drain holes. So I don't know. This has been in my to-do list for a very long time. So today is the day I'm going to do it. Let me just, I guess it doesn't matter to get any powder out. So this is chameleon flakes. This is the 8-color pack. I love these things. That's why they're almost gone. They have all different colors, purple and pink, violet and blue, pink and olive. But like I said, these are all like half full and I wasn't sure. So I'm going to use the one I've never used, gold olive. And we're just going to spread it on. See, it's not even opened yet. Let me grab a knife. I'm just going to spread it all over this, mix up the Magic Pour, and we're going to see what the effect is once we get it. So these little things stick very well to silicone. You just burnish it down. I don't want it on the outside, of course. Gosh, I hope I have enough. I'm really just going to dump some in. My ceiling fan is on, so they're spreading everywhere. I'm just going to try to get a really good coverage because I know that powder is going to just be, maybe if I do it this way, it might work a little better. Gosh, I hope I have enough in this jar. I always get worried and then I have plenty, so I'm going to have plenty. I'm not even going to speak that over myself. Okay, so you get the hang of it. I'm just going to take my time and get this on. So enjoy a few seconds of music. Look at the gorgeousness of that color, you guys. If that stays, I'm going to be so happy because you'll have the like super structure of that powder and still the beautifulness of these colors. But if you poured it in black, it would be like a really bright color, really bright chameleon color. But if you pour it in white, it'll be hopefully close to this color, if resin. Now that's resin. I don't know about this. So, and you don't have to be too super careful when you're putting your fingerprints on this, because this stuff gets stuck and it doesn't come off like the chameleon powders when you're folding it back inside out. So that's another reason I chose this kind, because you can touch it and it's not smearing it. I had to shut the fan off, so keep your ceiling fan off. And it was still going everywhere, so I was just blotting my silicone into the table. And I was so worried I was going to use this whole thing. I still have 3/4 left. I never dreamed it would go that far. So these things go farther than I expected. They always do. They always surprise me, and I don't know why. Because the jar looks so small. So those two are ready to go. All right, so I measured it with water. It was 8 fluid ounces of water. So then I take it's been working the past couple times. I take my cup, so these are the fluid ounce lines. I go to the 10 because I like having extras. If you don't want extras, I would go to the 9 fluid ounce mark with your powder. And then you're just going to add, this is how I do it. They have 3-to-1 by weight. You guys know I don't like to weigh things, so I do it by feel. So I filled it to the 10 fluid ounce mark with my powder, because this time I need to look what it comes out to. I always forget to look after it's poured with water how much I actually got. So remind me, you guys, check the volume after it is poured and mixed the way I want it to be mixed, so I know what 10 ounces actually ends up being, because it does shrink some when you add the water, you know. So I'm hoping, I don't know, I do like extras because I especially like to put washi tapes and stickers on coasters with this stuff, because I get to glaze them with my Dragonfly glaze and they look so pretty and shimmery. I don't know what it is about the shimmer, but it gets me every time. Just make sure you scrape to the bottom, and you want it to be a nice ribboning off of your spatula. Not too watery, but not thick where you can't pour it, because you don't want clumps, and you don't want it to be too thin. But you know what I mean. You have to do it a couple of times to understand, I guess, because it took me a couple of times to figure this out. All right. That looks light. Let me look at how much it made now. Oh gosh, you guys, I'm at the 8 ounce mark. Exactly 8 ounces. So it went down 2 ounces, but I think it's a little too thin. So let me grab, and I'll tell you how much water I used. I used 3 ounces of water, 3 fluid ounces of water to the 10 fluid ounce mark of powder. So that's what I did, but I need just one more scoop. So let me grab my powder. I just want to thicken it up just a little bit. So this is like a half a scoop of powder. And that might be exactly what I needed. Now, you can't just sit around and think about it. You got to make decisions quickly, because this stuff sets up and you can demold it in like 40 minutes or 60 minutes or something. I don't know the exact time without reading. And I don't have time to read. I'm going to do another little scoop because it's still a little bit watery. And I want good structure when it dries. And make sure you dry this completely before you seal it. And you can seal it with anything you want, from beeswax to clear sealer to Dragonfly glaze to paints to resin. You can seal it with anything you want. I still need a little more, you guys. Oh, something blue in there. So I'm sure I just went over the 8 ounce mark. Okay, that's going to be enough. I'm not going to put any more in there. I can already tell. All right. And I hope we can see those flakes. I don't see why we wouldn't. I just hope they stick to this stuff and come off. Otherwise, we're going to have a white pot, and that's kind of boring. You guys know I don't do colors by themselves without doing something else to them. So let me look at the volume. It's just barely over 8 ounces. So it was just getting, it's like 8 1/4 fluid ounces. So I might not have any leftovers. That kind of really stinks. All right, so I'm just going to pour and then shake it and shimmer it to dislodge any kind of possible bubble, which I don't know that there will be any. This stuff usually does really well with that. I'm not gonna dome it yet, because like I said, when I measured it with water, I needed the full 8 ounces, so I really wanted extras, which I don't have enough. I mean, I have a little bit, but let me just put what I need in here. And I only have enough for a couple little keychains, possibly. Yeah, that stinks. I mean, I can make more, but really wasn't going for another project because I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So let me pour a couple keychains and we're going to leave it at that, and then we'll demold as soon as it's dry. Well, my friends, I unmolded my extras, which I did the same thing too. So I put the flakes in the mold. I also put chameleon powder in the mold, and the flakes half came out, so I have no high hopes for this. And the chameleon powder came out, but not as great as it could have been with resin. But we'll fix those up. You could see the shimmer shine, but a lot of the flakes were left in the mold, so I know pretty much this is going to be the same thing. So I wasted a lot of flakes. So let's see what we have here. Yeah, look at all those flakes left in there. It's okay. And now I know you cannot really use flakes in here. So, I think we're going to do another, not really experiment, but a comparison is the right word I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this mold again with the exact same flake, because I do not want to waste these flakes in here. And then I'm going to mix up 8 ounces of resin, and we're going to pour white resin in and see what we get. I mean, it's on there, but it's really, really, really on the mold still. So you get a little bit of shimmer shine, but it's not what I wanted. It's pretty, don't get me wrong. And let me see. You guys were right. Obviously, that wouldn't be. So this is a planter pot, I guess. Huh, interesting. And look at, I don't know if that's coming from the mold or if this is coming from here. So we definitely have to seal this all in. But before I do that, I am going to go ahead and repaint this mold. With these, I'm just going to go right over it and just get all the spots that didn't have any. And then I will mix up some resin. And I'm going to figure out if I'm going to use a pigment paste or if I'm going to use a mica powder. But either way, I'm going to do it white so we could see what I was going for. Gosh, there's hardly anything missing. I bet this doesn't stick to very much of it. But I don't want to not do this again because I really don't want to have empty spots. Like that one has empty spots everywhere. So I'm just going to quickly go over this and then mix up some resin. I got 8 ounces mixed up, and I always forget that I have this pearl pigment paste. I was gonna do mica powder, but then I was like, I don't want to stir mica powder in something this deep. Yes, I can make it less deep, but I rarely get to use this pearl pigment paste. So we're gonna use this instead of mica powder. And then I'm gonna split it in half, put it in the vacuum chamber, because this mold comes up and over, which means it's going to trap all the micro bubbles up underneath this lip all the way around here. And I don't want bubbles, so you want to take them out if you have a vacuum chamber. If not, you got to be very careful with the resins you choose in molds that come up and over that back end like that, because that's where all the bubbles will accumulate and stay, and then you'll be upset. So if you can ask for Christmas presents this year, I would ask for a vacuum chamber. If you're new to resin, put it on your Santa list, because it is the best tool that I have in this entire room. And I think I need a little more because it's pretty light, and I want it to be pretty deep. Let me get some more out of here. Now make sure you wipe your stick off before you stick it in pigment paste, because when you don't do that and you go back to your pigment paste, you're going to have a huge chunk of cured resin inside of here. This one is really super duper thick, so I have to really stir this one in. I always forget that it's really thick because I always forget that I even have it. So I rarely get to use it. But it's kind of, you know, it's the white mica shimmer just in a paste form, and I don't have to worry about mixing it in all the mica powders where they're going to float. Not that it will matter in this one, but that'll be good because it's going to be poured deep anyway. Let me get this all off my stick. Just don't put it in your vacuum chamber filled to the top like this. You have to have at least halfway empty, or it will bubble over everywhere and make a massive mess in the bottom of your vacuum chamber. And I do recommend a silicone mat at the bottom because it has happened to me. And then you just let it cure and then you peel it off the mat. But if you let it stick to the metal at the bottom, oh, that is not going to be fun to clean up. All right, BRB. I'm going to go ahead and pour these, and then I'm going to finish up the other one, get it sealed. And I will probably use my Dragonfly glaze like I always do, because that's going to give it some extra shimmer shine. And I don't know if I'm going to do anything else to that. I'll do something to those two keychains, or I will make them ornaments or something. Not sure. We'll see what I come up with. And then we'll wait for this cure and see the difference between the powder and epoxy, which I know this one's going to be really pretty because I've done it before, but a little disappointed in that one. I mean, I'm glad it's got a lot of it on there, but nowhere near as much as I thought it would pick up, because that stuff is wet when it goes in too, so it just doesn't like to adhere to that. Look at that. To the last drop, 8 ounces. Whoop. 8 ounces, and it domes both of them. This one might go over if I add it. That's it, nothing left, perfect. All right, let me get my glaze out. I'm going to use my violet blue green shift because it's my favorite one. I've got about half a bottle left. I'm just gonna pour some in the cap and put a coat on, 1 or 2 coats, we'll see. And also on the bottom since it's completely dried out. And let that dry. It just gives it a really pretty shimmer. It's all this, and this is sealing in the resin, so nothing is going to get inside of it. I'm not going to make you watch me sit here and paint this, so I will get you on a little fast forward. And then I'm gonna figure out if there's anything else I want to do to this in the meantime. So enjoy the music. All right, I got that one done. I got the extras done, and I decided to make them ornaments. So here's the one side. This is the grape color chameleon powder from Let's Resin. It's really pretty. And the back is, I just put dragonfly glaze on both sides of everything and the sides, and then I put rhinestones along the edge just to make it a little prettier. And then here is a snowflake one, and this is the dragonfly glaze over the petals, and then this is just the dragonfly glaze. Not sure you could see what I'm seeing, but they came out good. And then I just put rhinestones blue on all the points of the jar, and then also the bottom piece here. So that is this one. So let's compare and see the difference between the resin and the powdered resin. Now that is what I was hoping for. A pretty opal. And let's see, this one, see the difference? And this one gets shimmer from the dragonfly glaze too, because I put that all over here. So complete difference. Now I will say that the chameleon powder came right off. There's nothing left in the mold of the chameleon powder, so you definitely can use chameleon powder with the powdered resin. You just can't use the flakes. Unfortunately, I learned the hard way. But look at that. We got an experimental video out of it because I didn't expect to have to do this, but I was really like wondering the difference between the two, and there's a huge difference. So now we got 2 planter pots. If you want one of these, go in my eBay store because that's where they're going to be. That is so pretty. So much prettier. Look at that opalescent color. Oh my gosh. Gorgeous. Super gorgeous. Love it. All right, I'm just going to bling up these sides. I'm not sure what color. I'm going to pick a color and BRB. There you have it, you guys. I picked a very soft pink. It is gorgeous, very subtle but sparkly. These are the diamond dots, I think. I didn't buy them, so I'm not sure. They were a gift, but I'm pretty sure that's what they are. Anyway, that's it. I will get you some pictures. Tell me which one you like better. I think I already know, but you never know. Everybody's taste is different. So guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed yourself and learned something because I did, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bye.